so bored. What should we do?
Watch Netflix.
No.
We could go to a restaurant.
Pizza?
I don't know what we could do.
Hey, you guys should go to PCA. I was there last week with my friend and the art was super cool.
Why go to an art gallery?
Why go to an art gallery? There are many reasons to go to an art gallery, but one of them is because art is a code that everyone interprets and relates to differently. This is portrayed well by a piece called Defiance, made in 2015 by Ronald Negro. Defiance is a sculpture made from salvaged aluminum machine parts such as computers and CD players. This piece is made up of a variety of shapes and sizes. The piece casts multiple shadows on the wall as it is lit from different angles in the gallery. The piece is very articulated, which causes the shadows along the wall to form various shapes that can be interpreted to look like many different things. While I was at the gallery, I interpreted the shadows of the piece to look like an old movie projector, while my friend who went with me saw a person standing with her arms out, and someone else saw a machine gun. This goes to show that art really is a code that can be interpreted to look like many different things. This is Adelaide, thanks for listening.
Why go to an art gallery? When in an art gallery, it's important to look at the details of the work. When you do this, you might notice things that could change your opinion about it. In Rabbit by Edmund Tillotson, there are several components in the piece. By walking around it, you get a different view, both literally and figuratively. In an email from Mr. Tillotson, and I quote, "The sculpture is constructed in such a way that as you move around it, differing aspects of the work are revealed, concealed, and established." Materials can also play a role. The plexiglass has a physical appearance but is also transparent, giving it an ambiguous quality within the work as a whole. The circle operates in a similar way, creating an enclosed space like a window or an entrance, Mr. Tillotson said. The artwork is not about the whole. Like a machine, the inner workings are the most important parts.
Why go to an art gallery? Hi, this is Phoebe, and I think it's good to go to an art gallery because each work of art has a story behind it that is up to you as a viewer to decide for yourself. The artist may have their own story, but you can interpret the piece in a different way. In Twisters at Play by Patty Menick, there are a bunch of human-like sculptures standing around on their phones. They are made of cloth-covered cylinders with gray, purple, and pink heads with small arms and hands. I think the story behind this piece is that they don't have workable legs and tiny little spherical feet, so maybe they cannot twist themselves to talk to the people right next to them. They don't appear to have ears, so they cannot hear each other if they tried to say anything. Perhaps this is why they have their phones, texting to one another in order to communicate. Perhaps this is what the world has come to, depending on electronics for everything. But all that, the story, is up to you as the visitor to an art gallery. Patty Menick may have a different story or meaning behind her piece, but each visitor to a gallery has a story that they come up with themselves.
Art is a huge part of human culture. Take I Wish He Would Help with the Baby, made by Patty Beachley of cast aluminum yarn in the form of a mounted sentence in cursive. This piece represents the problem that there are many people out there that think they don't have the obligation to care for their own children. This piece was made in 2015 and inspired by the reality TV show 16 and Pregnant. The piece represents an often said phrase in the show, where one of the parents is doing most, if not all of the work, taking care of the baby. This piece helps to spread awareness of this subject. This subject is a darker part of human culture that needs to be more widely known about. The phrase also helps spark thinking about traditional gender roles and how we have changed from back in the past. This piece also helps us make connections to our current culture and how we haven't changed much at all. This piece inspires us to make connection to and think about our culture in the past, present, and what it will be in the future.
Why go to an art gallery? Going to a gallery makes people better understand or notice the different views and ideas people interpret from art. The art piece Imprint of Consumption, made in 2014 by Alison Helm, is the example that will be used to show the various views that art has. Imprint of Consumption is a very colorful sculpture. It has speckled dots everywhere and is tall and thin. One interpretation that someone may have when looking at this vibrant sculpture is a piece of coral in the ocean. The tentacle arms and colorful speckles around the sculpture represent coral well. Another person may notice the translucent jewels embedded in the center of the piece and come to the conclusion that the jewels are supposed to be hidden treasure in the art. Someone else may notice the arm-shaped structures sticking out from the top of the piece or the zigzag-shaped wood in the center. It could look like an octopus body or raw taco meat. Overall, going to a gallery is important because you may learn something new about an art piece, or you may find other details and ideas about the art.
Why go to an art gallery? Because art is a way to learn different perspectives. Artworks can be viewed in many different ways. For example, I view this artwork titled Black and White by Kiko Katani as a quilt. It brings me a very nostalgic feeling. Also, the geometric shapes on the fabrics are like spiderwebs. They're all connected. The lines are connected like cells. This is another way that I look at the artwork. Perspective is very important. Different perspectives are useful for varying different situations. Some people may see art as an artist's expression, while others see it as a message to the viewer. With Akiko Katani's Black on White, some may perceive it as a message of simplicity. After all, black silk on hand-woven white canvas is very simple itself. Others may think of it as beams or cells. Seeing an artwork in a different perspective than others changes how you think about it and how you feel about it.
I'm so glad we went to PCA today.
Yeah, me too.
I learned that it's important to look at the details of a work.
There's a different story behind each piece of art.
Art has many different perspectives.
Art is a code that everyone interprets differently.
Going to a gallery made me understand that people interpret art differently. Art is a part of our culture. Now, how about that pizza? Yeah!